afternoon, and we are more than halfway through the day. Although we will see how late we go, so I don't want to jinx anything. So welcome to Baltimore, Washington Annual Conference. We began yesterday. Really, the business of the session began today. Right now, we've just finished the memorial service and honoring those folks who have clergy spouses, and children, and lay members of the annual conference who've passed away since we last met and heard a powerful sermon from Reverend Herbert Brisbane. Uh, we're getting ready to head into session. I see folks on stage. We're scheduled to start at 3:30, but I'm going to be watching the stage to see what happens. We spent time this morning getting organized, hearing motion greetings, receiving greetings, hearing instructions for voting, and practicing that. And really, our first real votes, really business that we were getting into, was looking at the 4 constitutional amendments that have been sent to all the annual conferences from General Conference 2020-2024. The first of which is regionalization. All of these important regionalization, very important that we approve. The vote is aggregate. We knew we weren't going to get the vote report back. We started having some problems with voting that became clear by the time we got to the second amendment, because you can debate them but not amend the constitutional amendments that are sent from General Conference. Folks were having trouble, maybe Wi-Fi issues, getting the voting to load. And then it became apparent on the second vote, there were also some questions about whether folks who were not eligible to vote on those particular pieces may have been voting. Now, that's all built into the voting system that GNTV does, where there are certain things, for example, that only full clergy members, so persons who aren't full clergy members of the annual conference under our Book of Discipline, would be provisional elders and deacons, local pastors. And so things like election of delegates, we're not doing that this year. But also voting on constitutional amendments can only be clergy members in full connection. And there were maybe some sense that maybe folks who weren't eligible to vote had a vote go through. So we're going to get clarity, I'm sure, from Good News TV. But when we heard some of those reports, Bishop Easterling invalidated the votes on the first 2 amendments. We want to make sure that we have clarity that the persons who are voting are very hopeful that we'll get that working. What we don't want to do, and Bishop Easterling certainly affirmed, what we definitely don't want to have to do is go to paper ballots, because the General Commission on the General Conference has said that each ballot has to be taken separately. I would imagine, this is not official, but I would imagine that probably means that we can't have one piece of paper with each ballot, that we might, maybe that would mean 4 separate ballots that would have to be hand counted. We don't want to do that. So hopefully all of those issues will be, I'm sure they've been working on that, will be resolved by Good News TV. So when we come back, we've got to start the voting on constitutional amendments over, vote through the first 2. I imagine we'll go straight to vote, because we had the debate. We had gone immediately to voting on the second, and had a call the question on the first. We have the second 2 constitutional amendments to look at, and then we have all the resolutions to be working through. Resolutions, including one for me on clergy equity and clergy vacation, but going through all of the resolutions. All the other things we have to vote on are still ahead of us. So reports from our administrative committees, some of those votes that we just have to do every year, like from pension and health, approving that retiree can use their income as housing, but others like budget that are more involved. And so it is, I mean, we have less than 24 hours between now and when we need to be done, and all of the votes to do. So we really need to lock in. Hopefully folks will be prepared hopefully folks, if they have questions, have asked them, so that we can move through. As Bishop Easterling reminded us, if you are coming to a microphone and somebody has said something that you were going to say, you're entitled to speak, but it may help the body if you allow the comments to stand. So we hopefully will be working together efficiently as we move through that. We do plan to have an order of the day celebrating appointments this evening. We also have dinner. So Bishop Easterling said if we need to, we'll come back after the service celebrating appointments. And some of us have done that, but most of us have done that before. So we really hope that we can move efficiently through what's before us, maybe begin to catch up on our agenda, but a lot that is left to be done today, and a lot of reports ahead of us. So thanks for following, and I hope Folks will be back and ready to start. Uh, Again, we're scheduled to start at 3:30. Folks are here, so make sure if you are a delegate that you are here and seated. I'm sure we will be rolling